What stood out for you in today's trading session, Suyash?
So, Shweta, there are 4 sectors that I wanted to talk about with Sir and you in today's, in today's show. Of course, banking pack. Let's start with that first because today was a weekly expiry and a very interesting session for the banking pack as a whole. In the last 9 to 10 sessions or so, we had been, the index had been taking support at the 20-day moving average and the 200-day moving average. Today, again, on the back of an expiry, we broke below those levels, both those levels on an intraday basis. But in the last hour of trade, we were able to reconquer both the 20 DMA and 200 DMA and also managed to close above it. So a very interesting movement, we are seeing there in the banking pack as a whole. And another sector I want to highlight is the auto pack. It's one of the best performing indices in 2023. The index actually made a lifetime high in today's trade of about 16,992, so just about 8 points shy of 17,000 low levels, and we just closed marginally below the day's high. So all in all, the setup is looking good for the auto pack. Another sector, of course, is the IT pack. The IT pack reversed all of yesterday's losses and ended among the best as one of the best performing sectors in today's session. Today's charge was led by the heavyweights, your Infosys and Tech Mahindra. They rallied around 1% or so. Both in November alone, the index has now rallied by about 6.5% or so, whereas Nifty is up only about 4%. Another sector and which also scaled a lifetime high in today's session was the pharma pack. It scaled 16,000 mark for the very first time and also close above it. I think last week we were just talking about how Nifty Pharma was on a verge of a technical breakout. Yes, that breakout has been confirmed and we have scaled the 16,000 levels also for the very first time.
All right, let's quickly take this to Rohit. Rohit, let's talk about the IT pack there. IT pack consistently outperforming various sectors. We've discussed how this could be sentimental given that there is not much looking good by the way of numbers that have come out in Q2. What are you making of this momentum in the IT pack?
I think it's just following up what has happened in the US, where tech stocks have outperformed in the short term, which is why it's gathering some momentum and some interest. But overall, when we look at the slightly bigger picture on the IT index, it's not very comforting. The whole structure, as we call it, is corrective in nature and not really impulsive, which means that it doesn't necessarily give us a clear-cut sign that it's going to head towards new highs. Which is why we would remain cautious on the IT sector.
Sir, also want to pick your brains on the banking pack. Very interesting session for the banking pack on the whole. But we have managed to, rescale that 20 DMA and 200 DMA. Are those the levels crucial for the bank on the downside? And, what's your overall view on the banking pack also?
Yeah, that was a critical level to watch for today and will continue to be for tomorrow. What was interesting is that the Bank Nifty did break the previous swing low, which is at around 43,350. But the 20 DMA is also at the same level, which we didn't close below. So if it had closed below, that would have given us a further impetus to be on the short side of Bank Nifty. Not closing below it leaves you in two minds as to whether this sell-off will continue or it won't continue. But having said that, we did close down for the week, failed to cross the 20-week average, so that remains a negative. And even if I look at the intraday charts, we didn't really go above the 20-hour average. So on many fronts, despite this intraday bounce that we saw in the second half of the day, and the failure to close below the 20-day average, there are enough readings telling us that there's still weakness. We can't really conclude either way. We'll give it till tomorrow to get further confirmation that this sell-off in banking is continuing.
Okay.
And sir, what's your view on the pharma pack? I think the last time you were here, we were talking about this technical breakout. Nifty Pharma was seen facing resistance around the 15,700 mark. We are significantly above it. In fact, we have scaled 16,000 levels. In November alone, the pharma pack on the whole is up about 10% or so. What's the ceiling for Nifty Pharma, sir?
So I don't know what ceiling to put on it, but I think it does have the momentum to continue for a while. So we let that play out, So if we did take the cues at the breakout point, all we do then once we are in the trade is continue to trail it as far as we can. I don't think it'll be a huge runaway, but definitely what happens is when you get other parts of the market weakening, pharma acts as a good defense, and that is why the allocation to pharma sector is helpful. It also helps on the way down. Sometimes people don't want to get out of the market, and when markets fall, then pharma stocks tend to fall less than the others, and that is why it's called a defensive sector. So whether you take it as a defensive allocation or simply as something which is sort of outperforming for the moment, I think it still remains positive.
All right. And are the fundamentals supporting these levels in pharma, sir?
I think so. It's been a very, very long consolidation phase. If you look at the pharma index, it didn't really perform most of 22. In fact, from early 2021, it had stopped being part of the market rally, which was then the COVID rally. And so, having gone through such a long consolidation phase, it's in a different. The setup in pharma is very, very different from some of the other sectors that simply extended their gains, whereas the pharma sector is simply starting a move which is very, very fresh since 2023. So even if there is a correction at some point of time in the pharma index, I would think that it's just a pullback inside what is going to be a much larger trend to the upside.